For the Nifty, so absolutely flat. Some amount of pressure which is taking place in the mid-cap. So the mid-cap index is down around 1.2% and advanced decline ratio is on the negative side. We have IOC, HPCL, BPCL, all of them rallying on lower crude prices. And we have Manisha joining in to discuss more on the same. Manisha.
Thank you so much for that, Ekta. Well, the lower crude oil prices is not the only thing that's moving the markets. You also have to look at the metal prices, which have continued to decline. So whether it is about the slower global demand concerns or rising stockpiles for some of these metals, that continues to weigh onto the prices right now. So if you look at the copper, that one is trading at around 2-week lows. You have very bigger declines coming in for the nickel prices. In Shanghai, that one is at an 11-week low. And aluminium also trading at around 10.5-month lows. You have aluminum prices also declining quite sharply. It's at a 2016 October lows is how that one is trading in Shanghai markets as well. On your screens, as you can see, a near percentage point of decline for that one as well. You will need to watch out for the Chinese industrial output and the retail sales data tomorrow morning. That would give you further cues into that prices. But this is yet another week which perhaps is beginning and going towards a very declining cues, as I said. Steel on your screens, yet again 2% of a decline. Yesterday was 4% down. So there is really no stopping the metal prices as we see all of those prices there. David Lennox now joins us for more on that space. David, hi. What is your sense on the metal prices? We are already double-digit down for this year in all of these metals, and that decline just seems to be getting sharper in last 1 week or so.
Oh, hi, Manisha. Certainly, if you have a look at what's happening in the equity markets, we've seen that broad sell-off across all the global equities. Now, if equities are a reflection of what's going to perhaps happen with global growth in the future, well, there's the story. We certainly do believe that the market's now starting to focus on what the decline in equities does mean for growth, and they are now starting to reflect that concern about global growth back into the commodity prices. As you've already suggested, we've seen some inventory levels in the LME starting to rise, although some others continue to remain on a downward trajectory. So at this point, we're not quite sure if we're at that inflection point, but we certainly do believe that the markets are now well and truly on the track of firmly believing that global growth in the future is going to slow, and with that demand for commodities, and the prices are reflecting that now.
So what is your sense? Do you see further decline? If yes, then how much of a further slide in the metals can you expect?
Look, it's certainly been a difficult period for the metal prices. Not only have they had to battle the higher US dollar, which of course with the negative correlation between that US dollar and metal prices being strongly in place, that's been a headwind. With the concerns about growth in terms of being reflected in what we're seeing in the equity markets, that's a headwind. We're really not sure at this stage if we can suggest that we will see a base in the next couple of weeks. We will have to wait and see really wait and see if the equity markets do start to stabilise over the course of the coming week. And if that's the case, then we would suggest that we are probably at or near where we can see base metal prices also starting to stabilise. But at this stage, you'd have to suggest the pressure continues to remain on the downside.
One final question, David. As you said, the pressure in the base metal prices will continue for the rest of this year as well. Any buying strategy that we see? Because the markets earlier did believe that with the alumina shortage, aluminum prices perhaps can see some support. Do you see a buying strategy there? Or would you say all the metals in the whole sector would be under pressure as we move ahead?
Look, at the moment, I think you just have to take a little bit of a holiday on perhaps buying into the metals. But we do think that looking at a couple of them, zinc we continue to like going forward. We see inventories continuing to decline there. And certainly nickel have shown the same characteristics as zinc in terms of declining inventories. So we're watching closely those two. But look, at this stage, probably better to keep your money in your pocket and perhaps look for a better entry into the equity markets at this stage rather than buying metals.
Okay, so holiday from buying metals as of now. Some more pressure is what you can expect into that. Thank you so much, David, for joining us with your strategies.
Okay, thanks very much, Manisha, for taking us through those perspective as far as the commodities are concerned. We're going to take a very quick break here. We will come back and we'll have the market technicals, stock market technicals in focus. Ashwini Gujral will be with us to lay out just those and he'll take some questions as well from viewers. Back in 2.